My check, my check. Welcome, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Inside of this Tizi's Mind. Today, as you can see, we're in a different location because we are at the airport. Today, to be honest, I just really want to talk about nothing. I was going to say nothing specific, but no, actually, I do have something specific to talk about, and that is the fact that I'm at the airport and how fascinating I find airports. Here's the thing, right? I don't know why, but for some reason, airports are like my favorite places. That's my favorite place to be at. Why? I don't know. I just love. I truly enjoy being at the airport. And the thing is, I was thinking about this before when I was at the in the toilet because I have a story, but I'll tell you later. The thing is, I was thinking there that an airport, to be honest, is not like in a specific place. As in, an airport to me, it's like a channel, right? You go to the airport to then travel somewhere else. So it's like that in between space that you need to go to in order to go to another place, which is your final destination. But, and you would think nothing much happens in here. However, at the same time, so many things happen in here. I don't know. At least that's from my point of view. But what I was trying to say, one of my favorite things about the airport, like being at the airport, number one is the fact that everyone in here, right? They're they're coming from somewhere and then they're going somewhere too. As in, there's so many people here and there's so many people all the time constantly at airports. And do you know how many airports are there in the world? I actually don't know, but I know there's like many, many. Okay, so right now the fact that I am here, all of us, all the people that are at this airport, and that you know there are other people that are going to come because obviously there's flights constantly all day, so there's more people are going to come to the airport. I don't know if you can hear me because of the my check. The evil laugh. I just saw the transmitter line go like yellow because I said that. I don't know. I find it funny. Right. What I was saying. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the fact that all of us, right? Everyone that's here in this airport right now, we all have something in common, and that is that we're traveling somewhere. Or maybe there are people that just waiting for their, family members or friends or partners, whatever it is. But both of us, we're traveling. Okay, we're traveling, and the thing is, you can either, let's say, either this is a stopover, a layover. I prefer that word. This is either a layover, and then you have to go to you travel into another airport, and then that's your and then you have another you have another destination. That's what I'm trying to say. Or either you come to this airport and then you take a flight, and then that's your final destination, like whatever you travel into. And whatever you're doing, whether this is a layover or not, we're all here, we're all here. We're stopping in here. And again, think about it. How many people are there? Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own, you know, everyone's living their own reality. So the fact that we're all here at the same time, and I don't know, I find it very, very fascinating the fact that I could bump into someone right now and start talking to them, even though I don't do that because I'm a little bit I don't do that at airports. I don't know why. However, I don't do it, but I feel more encouraged to do it in this place because, again, all I can see right now, I don't see people. I see stories. That's all I see, okay? I see someone that I don't know where they're from, right? I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know where they're going to, but that's the thing. There's a story behind there that, like, it could be someone from the other side of the world and somehow they're here and then they're traveling to the other side of the world, and maybe they're trying to, like, maybe they're traveling for work, or maybe they're traveling for just for like pleasure or leisure. That's the right word, sorry. Or I don't know. There could be so many options, so many reasons why people are traveling. Like in my case right now, I'm traveling for work, and I also want to say this. I want like how cool it sounds that I'm saying I'm traveling for work. You know, it's not for leisure. It's for work. I've always wanted to say that. I have always seen like business people traveling for business. I see that as like I don't know something pretty cool, and I've always wanted to be able to say, I'm traveling for work, or like I have to travel for work, or just the phrase of like you're traveling for work. It sounds cool to me, and the fact that right now, even though I'm just traveling for one day, I'm traveling for work is like I can say I'm traveling for work. What was I saying? Oh, well, now I'm gonna tell you the story. I'm gonna tell you two things, right? First of all, I got to this airport. Okay, I got my. Slowly, Tizi. Okay, take it easy. You see, there's so many things I want to say, and like all these ideas are coming to my mind right now, and they all want to like come out of my mouth straight away. That I get like tongue tied and I can't speak. But first of all, I got to this airport. Okay, I'm gonna spend the whole night in here. I'm gonna do. It's gonna be my. I think. Okay. Okay. I think it's gonna be the first time that I pull an all nighter. I don't remember ever being awake for like longer than 24 hours. I don't know. So first of all, what's today? Today's Friday, right? I woke up this morning. I got on with my day, and now I'm gonna be awake I'm gonna be awake all Saturday, cause I need to do it. I I mean, yes, I can't sleep here at the airport, and I'm might gonna, most likely I will sleep on the plane. But the fact is that I'm gonna be awake for more than 24 hours, and I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I don't know how I'm gonna cope with that. I think I'm gonna cope well because I'm excited to be at an airport and be traveling, all day. But at the same time, it's like, well, at some point, my energy is gonna go down. When? I don't know when. How? I don't know how. And that's something I'm gonna find out, and it's gonna be interesting. I just had a Starbucks coffee because I decided that I'm gonna have a new tradition, and every time I'm at the airport, any airport, I'm gonna allow myself to have a Starbucks coffee. First, I don't drink coffee. Secondly, Starbucks is just overpriced and a bit basic, but again, it's my tradition. It makes me happy, so doesn't matter. Because again, I don't, like I said, I don't drink coffee ever. I just don't in my daily life. And even when I'm out, I don't go to Starbucks. So I find it pretty cool that I'm going to say, right, from now on, every time I'm at the airport, I'm going to get myself a Starbucks coffee. I got today a caramel macchiato. I think it's my first time ever having a caramel macchiato. And it was nice. It was nice. But I do want to have a iced vanilla latte at some point. I don't know. I've seen it everywhere, and I know it's like pretty much what every influencer drinks. But I want to try it. I want to experience it myself. Anyways, out of the point. I got here. Okay, I went to Starbucks. I got my coffee in 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes into stepping in this airport. Right. I didn't know how to drink that thing, so I opened the lid. I put the straw in, and as I grab it, right, and I bring it towards my mouth. That thing spilled on my fucking pants. Well, yeah, I already said the F word, so yes, that thing spilled on my pants, on my cream pants. So, what did I have to do? I went to the toilet and I washed them. I hand washed these pants. And the worst part was the drying process. The drying process? Progress? I always get confused with those two words, to be honest. The process. Yeah, the drying process. I probably spent like 5 minutes washing the pants, and a good 55 minutes drying them with the hand dryer from the freaking toilet. Like if you go to my TikTok or my Instagram, you'll see the vlog, and it's like the funniest thing ever because I was just standing there like, zzz, I found it funny at the beginning. Then I was like, Jesus, I'm actually like, I'm falling asleep doing this. But here, this brings me to another point that I wanted to say. Right. Well, I was at the toilet, drying my pants. I was in the ladies' toilet, and some woman came in and they did their own thing and da da da. But then this other lady, I didn't get the chance to film this, but anyways, this other lady, she was like, "Oh, like what happened?" She asked me like, "What happened?" I said, "Oh, I spilled my coffee on my pants, so I had to wash them because I don't have any more clothes because I'm just traveling for work and I'm traveling for one day, so I had to wash these pants. I mean, I don't mind going around with the dirty pants to be honest. I have free will and I have no embarrassment at all, but I think it's nice to have clean pants, and also like I have a long day ahead of me, so I can walk around with coffee stains on my pants. So, anyways, the lady was really nice. She was like, she started telling me a story like, oh, that happened to me one time too, but I was like on my period, so someone came up to me and they told me, so I had to like wrap my legs around with like a scarf, and she was like very nice. She was asking me, and then she said to me, "Oh, so where are you from?" I think it's because of my accent. Everyone always can tell that I'm not exactly from Spain because my accent is not exactly Spanish. It's a bit of, like it's like a mix, which I understand. And then also you look at me, and I don't exactly look Spanish because I have tan skin, brown skin, however you want to say it. And I said, oh, well, I was born here, but I've been living in Spain for a very long time, and this and that. And she was very kind. I could tell that she was Hispanic because of her accent too. She was just very friendly, and I really liked the fact that she said, "Well, she said to me, you could have asked anyone that works, the cafes here at the airport, and maybe they could have let you have the like dishwasher soap, because I think apparently that gets rid of pretty much old stains. I don't know." And I looked at her like, "Well, I didn't think of it to be honest, but thank you so much for the advice." And this is the thing. You never know what can happen at the airport, and I find it fascinating the idea of you can bump into someone, start talking to them, and like I said previously, you don't know their story. Everyone here has a story. Everyone here has a background. Everyone has something to say. So it was very nice to, even if it was just a 5 minute conversation with that woman, is the fact that she had um the kindness to stop and ask me like what happened, and then talk to me. And even though I didn't ask her many questions, um, she was very nice. And I think, it, how do I say this? It's the thought of, you know, approaching someone or just bumping into someone and start talking to them, and then you create this memory. Or even better, this is another thought that I was thinking about before. What if you bump into someone or you start talking to someone and you make a friend, and then now you have a reason to travel somewhere else, any other where in the world, to meet this person? Like, isn't that amazing? And the thing is, I say this because I've seen when like I've seen people when I'm on the plane. I don't normally talk to the people that are sitting next to me when I'm on the plane, but I've seen people that they start talking to the ones that are sitting next to them, and I can tell when they're not like, they don't know each other. They are actually strangers, and it's just so nice to see people socializing and in having conversations about, it could be anything, because that's the thing. Like, I don't know you, but I'm just gonna tell you my life because I just met you here on the plane, and then or even when they exchange numbers, like, then you just met somebody, and you just, what's the word? You created a connection. Isn't that nice? This happened to me once. This was, I think, 2 years ago. I was traveling to London, and on the plane, I don't remember how this woman started she started the conversation. I just don't remember how. But oh, sorry. The thing is, um, all I remember is that she started talking to me about her children and her family in London and this and that, and then she gave me her number. I don't remember if I helped her with something on the plane, something like that. That we changed numbers, and then she said to me, "Anytime that you want to come to London, just hit me up." Isn't that like so nice and so kind? I, I don't know. And then here's another story. Again, 2 years ago, I was traveling to London. It was my second time ever traveling to London, and I remember there there was this group of teenagers. I'm gonna call them. They were a bit younger than me, so they were like kind of teenagers. They were teenagers. I remember some of them were like 16, 17, 17, 18, somewhere around there. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay. And I remember that they were like maybe a group of seven, I would say. And they sat in front of me, well, in the seats in front of me, you know. And then there was like a bit of a mess because they like some of them were sitting in the back, but then they got the opportunity to like change and sit in the front, something like that. So I just remember their faces and all the all the drama and the mess happening on the plane. The funniest thing is that they got okay. Let me start from the beginning. A couple of days after, I met them. I bumped into them at Camden. I think Camden Street, somewhere in London. And the thing is, I do remember I recognized them from the plane, but I didn't want to say anything because obviously they were together and they were doing their own thing, and I was doing my own thing. But I remember this very vividly because it was just amazing. I was like looking at some sunglasses in Camden Street, and one of them approaches me, and he goes like, "Excuse me, are you like this famous girl?" And I was like, no, but thank you for that. Like, I took it as a compliment. Like, you think I'm some sort of like famous influencer or something. And then I think he showed me a picture of her. And we kind of looked together. We kind of looked alike, although I don't remember very well. But it was nice that, he approached me, we started talking. And then, because he approached me and we started talking, the rest of the guys, like the I don't want to talk because I don't know if you can hear me. So you and me were waiting in this podcast for the, you know, airport boys to stop talking so you can actually hear me. Although you shouldn't be able to hear it because I had the mic right in front of my mouth and I had the deck cap, but I don't know. So just in case, oh, it's gone. Okay. What was he saying? Oh yeah, because we started the conversation. I said, "Oh, by the way, were you the guys that were on the plane this day?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, and then talking to them, they told me that we had the same flight. Like they flew the same day they flew, and then they were flying back to Spain the same day that we had the exact same flights, and I was like, no way, that was the best part. So then we started talking. I think we exchanged Instagrams and stuff, and then a couple days go by, right? And it's flying day, flying day, um, and our flight. I do remember we arrived back to Spain pretty late, and we were all waiting for the bus. So we sat down. We had to wait for like 40 minutes for the bus or something, or like an hour. I don't remember well, but somewhere around there. It was quite some time. So we sat down all together and we started playing Truth or Dare. I think we started playing Never Have I Ever. We started talking about it, like our personal life and what they do while they were there. They were from some sort of like program. I don't remember well, but I remember that they invited me, like, say, look, if you ever think about it, just hit me up. You can come and try the program with us. I never did, which I wish I would have done it, but it's experience that I met this group of people on the plane. I bump into them in London, and then we got to hang out and just play games while we were waiting for a bus all together. I never talked to them ever again. But, it's the memory, and that's the thing. You never know what could happen in an airport or the people that you could meet. And I find it so fascinating. So fascinating. And yeah, also, here's another thing. There's so many good looking I don't know if I want to say this out loud, but there's, the amount, like, the people that you see at an airport, and I've seen so many good-looking guys throughout my life that I've never approached them, but it's the fact that, again, you see this guy, it could be the love of your life, and you don't know where he's going to, or where he's coming from. You don't know his story. But what if, what if? What if? Well, here I am at the airport having the best time of my life. And you might think, oh, it's a coffee Tizi. You're like this hyper because of the coffee. No, I'm this hyper because I am here and I am excited to be here and I just love being here. And again, this is something that's very stimulating for me in a good way. So obviously I will have the energy for it. I know that if I was in a different place and I was doing something that I didn't want to do, I would be like, it doesn't matter if I have like 3,000 coffees, it just wouldn't help. But because I am so excited to be in here, I'm like, yes. And also, here's another thing. I don't know why, but I also find it very interesting and very fascinating the fact that in an airport, like, there's not much you can do yet. You have stuff to do. Let me explain this. It's not like I can. It's not like when you go to a mall and then you can say, right, I can sit at a cafe, or I can sit at I can sit at a restaurant, or I can just go shopping, or there's like things you can do at the airport, right? There's not like much you can do in here. You're kind of like waiting for your flight. You have to go through security, and then sit down and wait for your flight. You wait to board, and then when you're on the plane, again, you have nothing to do, because obviously you have no internet, no nothing yet. This is another idea that I really like. It's like you're not doing anything because you are flying. You are doing something, yet you're still stuck in this. How do I say it? How can I express this thought? It's like you're trapped in time, but time's still moving, and yet you are moving, but it feels like you're not moving, okay? Because you're moving with the plane, but you're not really moving. So it's like you're not doing anything. You're just sitting there. Because again, you can't do much. I mean, you can read. You can edit videos. You can do stuff that don't require internet. But it kind of feels like you're not doing anything. But you're moving. Like you're flying. I don't know. I don't think I explained that properly. Also, I'm getting a little bit distracted. But it's the fact that, I don't know, there's not much you can do in an airport yet. That's the best part. I always think like, oh, look, I'm going to do, before I started like social media and all this, what would I do in an airport? I don't know. I don't remember well. I think I would do the same thing because I've been trying to do this for a long time now. But oh, I would love to go through pictures. I look back at pictures, or I would read. I remember I would read, or I would watch a movie. Here's the thing: I don't allow myself. Yeah, is that the right thing to say? I don't allow myself to watch movies or anything like that on a daily, because I always had this thought that I could use that time to be productive somehow by doing anything, like whatever it is. I just think that there's something else I can do, whether if I'm just watching a movie or watching a documentary. It's kind of, I don't want to say a waste of time, but I don't feel like I'm being productive. So when I'm on the plane or I'm at the airport, it's like, this is the perfect time to do this. It's like I'm being somewhat lazy. I'm not being productive, yet I am, because I'm flying. I'm going from this point to this other point. So it's not exactly like I'm not doing anything, It's like when you're on a bus or on a train. There's no much you can do, or there's no other place you can go. You're just stuck in there. But yet you can still do stuff. So where was I going with all this? Because I was telling you about me not watching documentaries, and then I jumped back to the whole flying thing. Um, I don't know. I don't remember what I wanted to say, but I think it was something along the lines of the fact that it's like the perfect time to do the things that you don't normally do, or the things that it's 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 like a good way to disconnect from the busy life. I don't know. In my case, at least, I'm not gonna say I'm a city girl, because I can say I live. I have. I can say I live in a big city, or that or that I have lived previously in a big city. Well, I have. I do. I have. I have had. I have lived in a big city before, but for a very short time. So I don't count that as living in a big city. I've lived pretty much most of my life, like close to the beach. So, but my point is, I'm used to the like living in the fast lane, like living in a place with a fast pace. So being on a plane or being at the airport is kind of a way to disconnect from that fast pace. And but again, you're disconnecting, but you're not being productive because you're flying. You're still doing something that's important. So I don't know. That's what I'd say. It's just it's like I don't think I'm seeing myself right now very well, but it's the fact that you can disconnect, yet you're still. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I find airports so fascinating, and I love being at the airport right now. So even though I'm gonna be here all night without sleeping, and then I'm gonna take 4 flights today, because I'm flying to England and then back on the same day. I don't care. I'm gonna be on 4 planes today. And I'm looking towards that. And I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, we're gonna end the episode here. I hope who knows? I might bump into any of you in the future in any airport. Hi, that's all. Oh, okay. This doesn't really have to do anything with the airport, but this is something I was thinking last time I was flying, which was 2 weeks ago, and I also find it very interesting how aviation works. So, first of all, right, there's like every I think 5 minutes, maybe a bit less, there's a plane taking off or landing. Okay, because I was on my last flight, I could see a plane right behind us, and we landed first, and then I think 5 minutes after, the next plane landed. But then in between that, so here's how it works: one takes off, one lands. One takes off, one lands, and it all happens in the span of like 2 or 3 minutes, and it's like the precision. Is that the right word? Let me look it up for a second. Precision. It doesn't feel right in my mouth right now. Precision, preciseness, precise. Yeah, I said it right. The precision is. It's the precision that. Wait, is it precision? Bleh. You see, I can't speak anymore. Slow it down, Tizi. It's. It's the precision that they have to do all this. Okay, the precision that there is behind all this. One plane takes off, and another one within 1 or 2 minutes it's landing. Okay, and the thing is, you don't know where all these planes are coming from, or where all these planes are going to, but it's all happening at the same time. Okay, and I would think, what if, like, I don't know, how did how did they calculate all this? How do they do all this? I know I need to look it up, and probably I will do it today. But it's the thing that, what if I know every plane has an estimated time to land, but what if you don't make it on that time? And what if I was thinking this on the plane because I could see it, and obviously I started thinking all these as scenarios. But what if you don't make it to that, let's say, time frame, time window, and like what if you have another plane right behind you, and there's not enough time for you to land and for the other one to land at the same time? Or what if you take off and like, okay, what if you take off and as you take it off, there's like another plane right behind your neck landing? I mean, I know that that doesn't happen because, again, I'm sure this is all very well calculated and like it's all very precise. But I don't know. I was just thinking about this last time when I was on the plane because I find it very fascinating the fact that how fast everything works. Like there's a plane taking off every 5 minutes or even less. I don't know. I remember watching a documentary or something like this a long time ago, and I think the busiest airport in the world is the Houston airport, probably. And again, all I remember, all I remember because it was like I think the most interesting part that caught my attention was the fact that he was explaining how one takes off right and then say in a straight direction, one lands, and then the next one that takes off, it goes in a different direction. So there's no chance of the airplanes like colliding or bumping into each other somewhere in the air. Because if let's say all the I think you can still hear me, so I'm gonna keep talking. So let's say all the planes take off in a straight line. There could be a chance, right, that I don't know. What if one of them slows down or doesn't have the right speed? Maybe you can somewhat bump into them into the air, which I know. I think this is a very like impossible a scenario, but I think about these things. Like that's another thing. We're flying in the air, and like it's not like you're driving a car and you're on the road and then you can see the lines. You're on your line and you know where you're going. Like there's no way you can just get out of it. But in the air, there's not like lines you can follow. There's not like a motorway that you can go to. You're just flying in the middle of nowhere. And then, like, how do planes know where are they going? Especially when you go through the clouds. How do they know? And how can they see where we're going? I was thinking this on the plane last time when I flew to England again 2 weeks ago. I was thinking, like, how do they know? Like, I know they have a way. Aviation is pretty good. And I know airplanes are, like, if I'm not wrong, one of the safest, or if not, the safest ways of transportation. Did I say that right? Yeah. So I know they know what they're doing, but because I don't know, it makes me wonder and question a lot of things, okay? So it's just fascinating. It's just fascinating how they take off, how they land, how they travel, and how do they, how do they know how to not bump into other planes, or like, how do you know like if you're at the right high, you know? Because I don't know, what if a plane's like down here and then you're like up here? And also, if I'm not wrong, I think private jets they fly a bit lower or a bit higher. I don't remember, but again, we're all somewhere up there, right? And again, every 5 minutes, a plane takes off and an airplane lands. So we're all here. All of these airplanes are in the air, flying from like so many different parts of the world. And again, like I said previously, there's so many airports out there. And if there's all those, okay, so if from this one airport, every 5 minutes there's an airplane taking off and landing, the same thing's happening in the rest of the airports in the world. So, do you know the amount of airplanes out there flying in the air? How is that? How is it possible? I know the world's like pretty damn big, but how is that we don't bump into each other? Like, I don't know. I find it so interesting and so fascinating. Yeah. I think yeah. I don't know. I'm like thinking about this right now. So I think I have nothing else to say. Aviation, it's amazing. It's fascinating. Being at the airport, amazing too. And I'm happy to be here. This is definitely one of my favorite places. Oh yeah, okay. Another thing I'm gonna say. I I can't say I've been to many airports, because I haven't been. I don't feel like I've been to that many countries in the world, to that many airports. However, some airports are like massive, okay? Massive. Massive. They're huge. How do they, like, whoever built such a thing, right? Blah, blah, blah. How did they do it? Okay? Because there's a lot of planning behind of it. There's a lot of planning behind creating an airport because I don't know how many runways you have. Normally, I think just one or two in like average or small airports. I don't know. Because that's another thing. I remember we landed in the runway and then they used the same runway for the next airplane to take off. But then the airplane right behind us, it was landing in the same runway. So there was only one runway, I think, that it was in use, or just one. So is there just one for all airports, or I'm sure there's like airports that have more than just one runway, and that's the other thing. Like again, like I'm saying, there's so much planning behind of all this because you can't. How do I say this? There's no space. There's no chance for error in such a thing like this. Okay, a small little detail that you don't calculate right, and that could, you know, create a big how do you say it? I can't think of it now, but it creates a big impact and a lot of things can go wrong. So the fact that there's bigger airports out there, especially the ones that are like international. I've been to the Madrid one, and the fact that there's like, you have Terminal 1, Terminal 2, Terminal 3, and I don't remember, I think Terminal 1 is the one that has like international flights, and then that terminal is like massive. You have to just take a train to a different part of the airport. Like you have to take a train to take you to a different terminal. What? Like, like it's just mind blowing to me the fact that an airport can be that big, and the fact that you need to go to a different terminal to take different flight that take you to a different place, but like even further. Ow! I touched my ear. I pierced my ear a couple days ago, so it does hurt. Anyways, it's just crazy, 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 crazy to think. That's all I have to say. But what something else? Not only that, but again, there are some airports that are massive, and the service, it's amazing. I've been to a couple of VIP lounges because thanks to my work, thanks to my job, and it's the thought that I think this one, the one here in Spain, well, the one here in Spain, the one where I'm from, it's a small one, but some of the VIP lounges in London, depending on the terminal, because that's another thing. There's 1,000 like different lounges in some airports, and it depends on the terminal, and it's like just wow. But some of those lounges are like, wow, like wow. Thanks. I don't know if you ever been to a VIP lounge or just a normal like lounge area, but like where you get food and stuff. It's just wow, like that's such good service. You get food, you get nice food, you get nice seats. The one, where was the one? Was it Madrid? I think it was in Madrid or in Dubai. Because I've been to Dubai before and the Maldives, and I think it was the Dubai airport and the VIP, the business, the Emirates business lounge. Jesus, that thing, it's like I can't explain how big it is, but you have all kinds of different food that you can think of. Like if you want Asian food, if you want Italian, if you want to think more, I think it was Eastern, Western Europe or Western America. I don't remember, but you have loads of options, and I just think that is just great. You know, like it's like great service, and then you have like an area where you can sleep. It's like you have like little beds, and it's like all quiet. All you have walls around. It's like all quiet, and you can sleep in there. You have blankets included in the freaking VIP lounge area for you to sleep that you can just take with you. Okay, like free blankets. How cool is that? What else is in there? Let's see. I don't remember well. I don't remember, but it was pretty damn cool. Yeah. And again, that's another thing. I know this, yes, it is related. It's all related. Some airplanes are like massive too, okay? You have the normal, I think, I don't remember the numbers now, but the classic average Ryanair airplane, okay? That's like, I think it's a Boeing 37 something. I don't remember the numbers, but it's like, it's like a basic one, like a standard airplane size airplane. And then you have the bigger ones, like the international ones. I think when we went to the Maldives and we went to Dubai, the airplane that we were on, it was in eight. I don't even know what I'm trying to remember the numbers, but the Emirates one. Not okay. It had two floors. Two floors, okay? On the lower floor, you had economy, of course. On the top floor, you had first class and business class, and you had a bar. A freaking bar in the on the actual plane. Like what the fuck? So the fact that there are airplanes even bigger than the standard ones, it's just mind blowing to me. And also because these airplanes are bigger, they take up a lot more space in the airports, right? Like, so it's like having a huge car. It's like having, I don't know, a standard garage, and then you have like a massive, I don't know, G wagon or a Range Rover. I don't know. I can think of a bigger car, like a huge truck. I can think of a big car right now, but it's like wow, wow. That's all I can think of. Aviation, airplanes, airports, everything's fascinating. I find all this world fascinating to me, and this is why I'm talking to you right now, because it's just like wow, I love it. I need to do more researches on it. I always get distracted every time I say I'm going to research something that has to do with aviation, and then I don't research anything. But I love this is a topic that I really really like. Aviation is like just very interesting to me. But I think I'm going to end the podcast here. And thank you so much for listening once again to all my thoughts inside of my head. Till next episode.